Now I'll do a quick demonstration to show you just how easy the PixPlus HD TV receiver is to use. In front of me I have the unit, I have a TV set up right over here with an HDMI connection, and I have the remote. Now the first set of connections I'll make are to the PixPlus from the antenna, and in my case I have an antenna that has an amplifier built into it. So I've got a standard antenna connection here, which I'll plug into the antenna input on the back of the unit. You'll want to finger tighten that. Don't use a wrench on this. Just get it tight enough where you can feel it snug up. There we go. Now again, this high definition antenna I'm using has a little amplifier built in because it's an indoor antenna. And I'm pretty far away from the metropolitan area, so I want to make sure I use that amplifier. And to use that, I'm going to plug it directly into the unit right here in the USB in the back. And that'll power up the amplifier. You can see that's powered up right now. Now we're all set to add the HDMI cable, which will connect this up to the TV. I've got that right here, and I'll plug that into the HDMI port in the back. Now the first thing you're going to want to do when you set this up at home is put the antenna near a window. You want to have it as high as possible if you're using an indoor antenna. If you're using an outdoor antenna, it doesn't really matter. You just want to point it towards the metropolitan area that you're trying to receive the signals from. But once you do that, then you'll have to scan all the channels. Now I haven't actually powered this unit up yet. I want to show you when it comes up. I've already scanned for certain channels, and I think where I'm at, and again, I'm down in the basement here, so the antenna's not high enough to capture all the channels. It's got a few channels that it picks up really well. But the interesting thing is, once it comes up on screen, it's going through its power on self-test right now. Once it comes up on the main menu, you can move to the focal glass and you can actually do the scan against those channels. And there you go, there's one of my channels. Now one thing to note is over here on the side, you can see the signal quality. That green bar on the right hand side lets you know how strong that signal is coming in. You typically want to watch channels that are 63% or higher. If it's under 60%, you're going to get a little bit of blocky on the TV. You're going to get pixelization on the pictures. And what you can do to correct that is when you have a channel that you'd like to watch, leave it on, and then move the antenna around in your home. Try changing the orientation of it a little bit to point the flat side towards the metropolitan area or maybe at a curve, sort of like you used to do in the old days with rabbit ear antennas, where you're watching a channel and you have to kind of adjust them to get the best possible picture. The same thing will happen here. The difference between the older TVs that were analog was that if the antennas weren't positioned correctly, you got a lot of snow in the picture. With this, if it's not positioned correctly, you'll get pixelization on the picture where it gets really blocky. But you can see right there, I've got one channel tuned in, and it looks fantastic. It's high definition. And again, the beautiful part about this solution is that you have an antenna, the unit, and a TV, and that's it. There's no cost per month. You basically plug it in, tune into the channels you want to watch, and if you're close enough to a metropolitan area that's broadcasting a lot of channels, you might find that a lot of the channels you like to watch now through cable, you can watch through this unit, and that's going to really help with that cable bill every month. And that's pretty much it for the demonstration.